Well, hello, friends. Real quick before we kick off the episode, I have to let you know about something exciting. I am seriously considering having an upgraded version of this podcast where you get bonus episodes and exclusive content. But here's the deal, I'm trying to decide what that content and those episodes should be. I do have some ideas, and I was wondering if you could vote really quick and tell me what you think about what would entice you, what would be interesting to you to get as bonus episodes on this podcast. For example, deeper dives into topics. Maybe I'm answering questions that many of you ask about starting or growing a business. Maybe even overhearing coaching calls, something like this. It would be a paid, upgraded version of this podcast, not very expensive at all, probably just a handful of dollars a month, but it be extra content for you to help you along your journey. My whole goal is to help you build your business dream. And I would love to offer you even more because some of you are asking for it. So if you could just look down in the show notes right now, there's two ways you can give me your answers. Number one, I have a Google form with 5 quick questions. It can be anonymous. You just answer them and vote on what would be interesting to you. Or number two, I have a voice memo system. You can just click it and you could just leave a voice memo with your phone right now and just record it and tell me what kind of topics, what things would be interesting to you behind the scenes, market news, what would be things that would be extra that would be really valuable to you. So thank you all so much. Okay, on to the episode.
Well, hello, this is Kimberly Brock, and for over 20 years, I've been running my own businesses that have not only been profitable, but personally fulfilling to me. So now I'm on a mission to help other new business owners, just like you, make money doing what you love too. Now we're going to have some fun, so let's get started.
Well, hello, this is Kimberly. It's episode 133, and I am so glad that you're here today because we are talking about the 4 times that I see new business owners stalling in their business. They're stalling and they're wasting time, and it's because they don't have certain things figured out. And so we're going to talk about those today. And in addition to that, you get to kind of look under the hood of my business because I'm going to share with you where those 4 stalling points are and how I've created products and services, well, I guess not physical products, but digital products, to help them. And that's what you have to do in your business. Okay, so we're going to talk about this today. So again, you're going to learn the 4 stalling points, and you're also going to get a peek under the hood of my business to understand this better. My Grow Getters are going to be hearing a lot more about this soon, so I'm so excited. Well, if you are new here, I am so glad that you found this podcast because I have no doubt that it's going to help you along your business journey, whether you're in the idea stage, just starting, or just growing. I am so glad you're here. Make sure you get plugged in right now. Okay. So what you're going to do as you're listening here, first of all, make sure you hit subscribe, hit that plus button. Like if you're in Apple or Spotify, hit the follow plus button, whatever it is. Then scroll down below because I have some free goodies for you depending on your stage and what you need. Do you need a guide to figure out your idea? Do you need the steps for starting your business? Or do you need to try to understand how to grow your new business? Okay. Get your free goodies. So scroll down, read below, see which one fits you. And then also, I'm personally inviting you to my private Facebook group. It's called Women Starting Businesses, Doing What We Love. You have to come in there. There's so many amazing, supportive, positive women. There is no riffraff in this group yet. I hope there never is. I can't believe it that it has become this amazing, fun, inspiring, helpful, supportive group of women. So make sure you get plugged in there. Okay. So I'm so glad you're here. Make sure you do those things. And for those of you that have been listening a while, I just want to thank you right now. Thank you so much for being such loyal listeners, and y'all's ratings and reviews mean the world to me. If you have found value in this podcast, you've been listening a while and you've never just taken 3 seconds to give it the 5-star rating, that would mean the world to me. I think Spotify is accepting ratings now. So whatever player you're in, Apple, obviously, I love that one because Apple loves this podcast for some reason, and Apple shows it to many of you for the first time, which I'm so grateful for. So thank you so much. If you haven't written a review, if you would, that I would just be so appreciative. So that is it. Okay, on to the episode. Well, hello, how are you? How is your business doing? Oh my goodness, I need to know. I need to know now. I wish I could know right now. But you know how you can tell me right now? Go into the Facebook group and see if there was a post. Usually on Mondays, I have Imperfect Action Mondays. You can share what you're working on that week. Wednesdays is wins on Wednesday. So make sure you post your wins because I literally get so excited here at my desk. I'll peruse those really quick and see, and I may even comment on your posts. I get so excited about it. I'm like your nosy friend that just needs to keep in touch with you and know what's going on. So anyways, make sure you do that. I'm so glad you're here. This is kind of an interesting episode today, and I was trying to figure out how exactly to structure it, but this is what we're doing. I'm going to share with you actually, did I say 3 main areas in the intro? I actually meant 4. 4 main areas where I see business owners stall, okay? Most likely new business owners, okay? This is where they stall and where they have a hard time. Now, I want to give you this insight because this is the kind of things that I share with my Grow Getters, and my Grow Getters are going to hear more about this topic here coming soon, so they'll be getting that. But for all of you that aren't in Grow Getters and you're listening to this, you're going to get a little peek inside how I create a path for my customers like you need to do, okay? You need to always be aware of what your people are hungry for, where they're stalled, where they're stuck, what they need, how they would like their life to be better. You always need to have that top of mind. And I'll be helping my Grow Getters create their path. But if you don't have a path yet, I just want to talk you through this, how I help new business owners, but also inform all of you at the same time of the places where I see you get stalled so you can know that there's help and what to do. Okay, is that making sense? You're kind of getting twofold on this. I'm talking to you about, places you may stall, but I'm also sharing with you insights into how I build my business to help business owners when they get stalled. Okay, so here is the first time that I see people get stalled, and that's in the idea stage. Okay, so if you've been in that stage, think back when you were trying to figure out your business idea and pick the best one. Did it take you a while? Because it took me a little while with this business. Y'all have all heard my story. I've gone through, maybe opening a facial spa, maybe doing public speaking. What business should I start? Should I revisit my gift boutiques and maybe start those up, do a different kind of gift boutique? I mean, I had all these ideas, but I'm an idea person. So it's a double-edged sword because it can slow you down because you get so many ideas and you need to focus on one, right? Eventually I did come to this idea. And when I started this podcast, that was it because I just knew that's what I'm supposed to be doing, okay? I see a lot of new business owners stall in this stage, okay? What you have to do if you are stalled in this stage is really try to match up your passions and your skills and your expertise and start brainstorming business ideas and find the one that is the most ideal that actually intersects all of that, right? This perfect spot, okay? And so what I've done for you is actually created a guide for you. I mentioned it in the beginning. It's called an Ikigai guide, and I help you to do all that. But some people, y'all may be able to do it on your own and you don't need my guide, and that's all good, okay? But if this is you, I think the best thing you can start doing is talking to people, researching, figure out your skills, really dig deep and try to pull that out of yourself so you can figure out a business that you would like or what ideas you could even come up with, okay, if you're in that stage. But I see people sadly get stuck here because they can't figure out their idea. And then they're flailing around. They're so excited to start a business. Maybe it's a good time in their life. Something's changed. Maybe they've retired. Maybe they've gotten married. Maybe now their kid is in kindergarten. I mean, it could be any number of things, right? You feel it. You know when it's time for you to start a business, right? But you get stalled and the momentum is kind of going less and less and decreasing and decreasing. And then you're kind of your own buzzkill because you're I was so excited. I wanted to start a business, but now I don't know. I wanted to start a jewelry business or a gift business or, you have all these ideas, or I could be a coach, a consultant, a fitness instructor, a nutrition specialist, a home decorator. You've got all these ideas, but you stall. If this is you, try not to stall anymore. Do yourself a favor and really dig deep within yourself and understand who you are and really understand ways that you can make money, start researching, and then really validate and go through and try to figure out that perfect idea for you. If you don't have help, I have a free guide, okay? The Ikigai Guide, and I have the Best Business Idea Workshop, and I just revamped it. It's all fresh and new. So if you've had this workshop, you've got a whole new set of videos now. They are updated. The first time I recorded this was like 2 years ago when I first started this business, and I about like threw up in my mouth when I saw the videos. They were terrible. So I apologize to everyone right now that my first course, mini course, the videos were not that good. The content is great. The content's great. So don't worry if you have it. The content is pretty much the same with a little additions and tweaks here and there. But the videos, I was like, it looked like it was nighttime when I was recording the videos. Anyways, they always say that, by the way, if you are thinking about starting a course, that your first like couple are the worst. And I think that old adage is true, right? I'm proof. Okay. Anyways, so from a business owner standpoint, I have identified where people get stuck and what they are hungry for. I talked about this recently on a Mindset Matters podcast episode for my Grow Getters, because my Grow Getters get a private podcast with the program, talked about what your people are starving for, okay? And so some people are really starving to figure out their business idea so they can get the heck moving and start their business, right? So from a business owner's standpoint, that's why I created that product, because I found that people get stuck there. So think about your business. If you're a new business owner, where are the points where people are stuck or frustrated or need more or want more help or need something better or different? Okay. And that's when you create products around it. Now, you may have created a product that is all yours that you're excited about, but in order to market it and sell it, you need to be using words that hit those pain points, that feed them when they're hungry. Does that make sense? Okay, so you got that little insight there. Okay, the second time where I see people get stuck when they're starting their businesses is when they're actually starting. I talked about this on the last episode, that y'all add drama to it. Okay, you need to go back and listen to that episode. It's 132. Yeah, drama to it. You think you don't know what you should be doing. And in the beginning, you don't. But there are resources everywhere for you. Okay. You can research online. You can talk to your local business network or chamber of commerce here in your area. In fact, here at our local community college, there's like a small business center where as new business owners can go in there. Like I went there and it was talking to them. I forgot to tell y'all this. This is like so valuable. This is Lone Star College in Houston. And I went over there. They have like a small business department where they would help me research when I was thinking about doing the facial spa and talk to me about what it takes to start a retail business in this area, because I've never had a retail business. I've had online, but I've never had like when I say retail, I mean brick and mortar. I've never had a brick and mortar business. Okay. I've always worked out of my home. Great resources there, y'all. Super great resources. So that was awesome. And they talk you through all that. But a lot of people, like when you're starting, you get overwhelmed with all the steps. You get confused. You don't know what to do. That's why I created the free 16-step checklist for you. So I have that. You can download it right now. As I mentioned in the beginning, get it and, work on starting your business. Start working through those things, because I don't want you to stall. Now, I will say I'm probably coming out with another workshop that is for those of you that are just starting and you would love to actually have video training where I kind of walk you through it. It would be some kind of workshop similar to my Move Method workshop or my Best Business Idea workshop or my business plan workshop, something like that, to fill the gap, because I don't have any product right now that is paid for just in the very early starting stages where it's just that. Okay. So from a business owner's perspective, when I was mapping this out and seeing where my stalling points are for my people, that is one. Right when they're starting, they can use some help right in the beginning. I know a lot of y'all use this podcast, you get the checklist, and maybe that's enough, and that's awesome. But there's some people that like need a little more, right? So I'm probably going to be creating something very soon. So I don't know when you're listening to this, but you'll have to check it out. But again, if you want to look under the hood of my business, that's the type of thing that I'm creating. And that's what you need to do. You need to figure out, okay, what's the path? What's the next step? So we already knew the first thing, that they got stuck in the idea stage. For you, what is it? What is the first entry point where they're stuck? And then maybe there's another one after that where you could create another product to fill that gap. Does that make sense? Okay, so the second time when I see new business owners stall is when they're starting because they're like trying to research. Maybe they buy books, they get audiobooks, they talk to people, they find this podcast, which I'm so happy about, right? And they do all these things, but it kind of stalls them because they've got this idea and they're super excited now. And it's kind of a buzzkill again because they're like, oh my gosh, wait a minute, the reality of this, look at all these things I have to do. They feel overwhelmed. It's kind of draining. They add a little drama to it. Did you hear that in last week's episode? I talked about it. I'll put the link. Listen to episode 132 when you have a chance about not adding drama. So don't add drama. I've already covered this in last week's episode, so you can listen to that where I explain that, how to not add drama to that. But you can get help. You always know this, right? But you've got all those free resources and you've got my 16-step checklist. Everyone tells me they love it because they worked through it. And it just hit me that I should maybe do a giveaway or something when people finish their checklist. How fun would that be? Like y'all could post it and go, I finished my 16-step checklist and post it in the Facebook group. How much fun would that be? And so I could see that you did it and maybe there'd be, something little I could send. I don't know. I'll have to think about this. If y'all think this is a good idea, someone could post that in the group too, but I think that'd be fun. If you finish your checklist, post a picture of you holding it. I would love that so much in the group. But anyways, you have plenty of resources and you probably all know this, but I'm just telling you that that's where I see people get stuck. And there's solutions, there's free solutions. Then you can also get my checklist. And then I also have a business plan workshop and it helps people create their business plan because I have noticed another point where people are starving. And that is when they try to put a plan together. Now, not everyone is like a plan person. They kind of just go. But some people really want the 10,000 foot view, not just like a checklist of things to do. They actually want a 10,000 foot view that says, I need to establish this for my business. I need to do my legal setup. And they want like a one pager that they can look down on and go, okay, these are the components. Okay. So I suggest if this is you and you feel yourself kind of stuck in this planning stage, like you're in the planning stage, then I would get a piece of paper and try to map it out and make like a grid and try to figure it out so that you can just like map out every piece of your business you need to work on. If you would like this done and ready-made for you on a cute plan with me teaching you how to do it and all the components, then you can always get my mini business plan workshop. Okay. So I help you do that. It's super simple and low cost and will save you so much time, so much easier. Okay. But here's the deal. Under the hood of my business, that's why I created that. Because I knew that people were starving at that point. I knew the checklist wasn't quite enough. I knew that they needed a mini business plan to get themselves going. Now, I may tweak that and actually expand it even to more information on starting, but right now the mini business plan seems to work because y'all already have so much information with the podcast and the checklist and everything going on. And that's my point to you, is that when you're crafting your business, see what they already have access to and see what they are starving for that you can solve for them, that you can feed them with. Okay. Does that make sense? The third area where I see people get stuck is when they have to pivot. Do any of you feel like you need to pivot your business, or have you pivoted your business? And what I mean by pivot is you start one or you even open one and you're kind of like, I'm not totally feeling it. This is becoming heavy on me. Are any of you in that position? If you are, you probably need to revisit your business idea and kind of go through all of that again, or tweak the way you're running your business. Let's say you started an online store, but really like an online gift boutique, but really you have always been yearning to have a local brick and mortar store, right? Okay, you can pivot. And I see people get stuck here though, and they keep running this other business. They're not happy. They're maybe not making the money. Some people do make money and still think that they need to pivot. And either way, it happens. And it's the same feeling whether you're making money or not, because you're like, now what? Now I'm making money. So I really should I pivot, but I'm not happy. And I say, if you're not happy, you're not showing up confidently, you're not being amazing with your customers and clients. Like if they can see it on your face, then it's time to think about pivoting, okay? And if you're not able to find the people that you want to sell to, if you like literally can't find them, you've done everything, then maybe it's time to pivot, okay? To think about your business idea. Is it too narrow? Was it just too specific where you can't find the people? Maybe you were doing something locally. For example, I don't know why I just thought of this, but like my husband is from a very small town in East Texas. And if I would have tried, maybe I would have, but I guess like 20 years ago, if I would have tried to open a holistic or like health food, I don't even know, not even meal plans because they didn't have those, but a health food service for healthy food 20 years ago, my husband and I have been married, 25? Nobody would have bought it there. Maybe they would have. It just wouldn't have supported my business. But if I had opened in this small town, like fast food or things that were country cooking, like East Texas country cooking, if I was doing things like that with mashed potatoes and like green beans and mac and cheese, it would have sold. Now, I'm not saying the town is like that anymore. I'm just saying back in the day, I would go visit him. I've been healthy, super healthy my whole life and just could not get over the difference in the way people ate. And I loved the food. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking it. I think everything is amazing that they were eating, but I'm just trying to give you an example of like, if you're somewhere where it doesn't fit the local area, or you literally cannot find the people online, they're not buying, they don't want it, you need to rethink, well, what would they want? Could I offer them a healthier mac and cheese and mashed potatoes and green beans and sell that to them in a healthier way versus me trying to come up with like some kind of super healthy meal that is totally organic and all this stuff and they don't really care, right? Do you know what I'm saying? So I hope that makes a little sense in your head that sometimes you have to pivot. People get stuck there. Okay, and now let's go under the hood of my business. What do I do for the people that get stuck? Number one, they can always do one-on-one coaching and we can talk about it. What was working? Should you really pivot? Should you really abandon what you were already doing? Or I would say, hey, have you gotten the Ikigai guide? Have you taken the best business idea workshop? That's what I know could fill the gap for that pain point. Does that make sense? That's a place where they're hungry. They're hungry for an answer on what type of business would be better for them or how could they structure their business in a way that felt more in alignment with them, right? So I've talked about that before. What happens when you don't have an aligned business? It can go bad, or it can just not even go bad. It can just feel weird. I talked about this on an episode. I'll put the link below that I felt weird when my business, just one little piece of it, didn't feel in alignment and it was causing me angst. It's almost like if you get an eyelash in your eye or you get a splinter, like it's so tiny and it's so little, but it's so annoying and it just keeps you up at night and you just can't deal with it, or a little bitty back pain or something. Do you know what I'm saying? Do y'all get my point? I try to make these analogies so you get what I'm saying. So my business in general has never felt out of alignment. There was just one little piece of it. So you'll have to listen to that episode to hear it if you haven't heard it already. So again, that's under the hood of my business where I know that there's a pain point and I would direct them to those things. So anyways, if you need to pivot, you need to pivot and don't be ashamed about it. Be proud that you were strong enough. It's like getting out of a bad relationship. Like be strong enough to get out when you know you need to get out, cut your losses, or just shift it. Maybe there's a different like business model or way that you can offer that could be better. Okay. So I hope you're not stalled. Okay. The fourth spot where I see new business owners stall is in the early growth stages. So here's what happens, okay? They launch their business. They are open. They are excited. They're so happy. They have their product or services ready. And then the momentum kind of slows or even stalls because they don't have new people now to market to. Maybe they've been building this up that they're starting their business and now everybody knows and people made their initial purchases, but now they're like, OMG, how the heck am I going to grow this business? And they soon realize they need a much bigger audience, okay? And how you build your audience is you put things in place that capture people that are interested in what you do, and you are able to then nurture them and turn them into paying customers or clients, okay? Now, under the hood of my business is Grow Getters. And you've all heard about this. It's to help you grow your business. But here's what we do in Grow Getters. We are really focused on 5 main things that will help you grow your audience, okay? And you can keep these gears or levers, whatever you want to call them, in place for a long time, and they will support your growth from here on out. So under the hood of my business, this is what I do to help people who are stalled in this early growth stage, okay? I walk them through the 5 main pillars for growing their business online, because that's what I can help you control is how you market your business online, which is what I've got all this experience doing, right? It's to really establish your niche. It's to solidify your offer. It is to figure out your visibility method that you're going to create content for on a regular basis. It's the way you invite people in through either a consult call or getting on your email list, and then email marketing to them or nurturing them in some other way. Email marketing, I believe, is the best way, but there are other ways you can do it too. And then eventually converting them into a sale, and then tracking all of this so you know how to tweak it, adjust, create, take away, all that good stuff. Because here's my biggest fear for you, for all of you that have just launched your business, you're in the early growth stage, or you're new and you've got your business going, but you just don't feel the growth. Here's my biggest fear, that something will happen and you will either go viral, you'll get asked to speak, you'll get asked to be featured in a local paper, someone will tag you or say how awesome you are in a Facebook group, they'll ask you to be on a podcast, they'll ask you to go live. If something happens, maybe someone shows a picture of the product or the results they got from your service, and you get traffic either to your website or somewhere, and you don't have the things in place to convert them into a lead because they are genuinely interested in what you offer, and you don't have that in place, and you can't turn them into a sale later. Like, you lose out on all that. That is my greatest fear, is that you've done all this. You've worked so hard to get your amazing business up and running, and you have an amazing product that I know can help people, but you don't have the systems in place to support what we call lead generation and converting them to sales. And so for some of you, you may never have heard this term if you've never been in sales or you've never kind of been in this business environment. But anyone who's interested in what you offer, who suffers the problem you know you can solve, is a lead. Okay. And you have to capture them. You have to get them on your email list. Then you have to be able to nurture them and walk them through this path. And the path may be quick, or it may take a while. My business a lot of times takes a while. It takes nurturing, right? Y'all listen to this podcast, you'll download my freebies, maybe you get a free workshop. It takes a while. Okay. Some of you that have product businesses, it may be quick. You may be at a farmer's market or a vendor show and somebody walks by and goes, "Oh my gosh, I've been looking for a cute purse or cute earrings. Here it is. I'm going to buy it." Right? But you've got to have systems in place so that you can remarket to these people. And there's just so much that you need to establish that I see new business owners not doing. A lot of you are scared of email marketing. And a lot of you, I'm just going to be really honest, your website isn't super effective. And if you're not getting feedback, like your website looks pretty and looks amazing, but it's not effective in terms of building an audience so that you can capture leads, so that you can eventually turn them into paying customers or clients, right? And that's what I help you do in Grow Getters. So if you have that 15 minutes of fame somewhere, maybe it's on TikTok, maybe it's a Pinterest pin goes viral, or you do something locally, I want to make sure you have the systems in place so that you can use that moment to build your audience and even increase your sales, okay? So think about that right now. In your business, if that's you, like if you know, like, holy cow, I don't have everything in place to support this growth, get on the wait list for Grow Getters, because I will be opening at some point soon where you can jump on in and start learning the 5 ways to get everything established. You can get help from me and feedback from me and others in the group on what you're doing to make sure that it's all clicking with people who read it and see it. Okay. You need to be working on the things to put in place to build your audience online. Okay. So again, to recap, the 4 stages where new business owners get stuck, or any of these stages, you get stuck in the idea stage. You can't find that perfect idea. You get stuck in the starting stage. Maybe you're planning, starting. There's a lot of steps. You're overwhelmed, right? Other people get stuck in the pivoting stage where they've got a business, it's not doing well, or it doesn't feel aligned. And there is also people who get stuck in the growth stages. So remember, if you're stuck in the idea stage, start really investigating your idea, really digging deep, talking to others about what you're good at and all that stuff. If you are stuck in the starting stage, make sure you listen to this podcast. You get my free 16-step checklist. Okay. And I do have a business plan workshop where you can create a business plan for your business. So you have it all mapped out, it's organized, and you can actually get this thing going and you don't stall anymore, right? If you're in the pivoting stage, go back and review those things that I just mentioned. Okay. And if you are in the growth stage, the early growth stage, make sure that you have all these methods that I mentioned in place. You truly understand your people and the problem that you're solving. Your website is running effective. You have a good lead magnet to draw people in and get them on your list. You're emailing your people. You're creating content regularly. And you've got all these things set up so that you can support audience growth, which can turn into sales. Those are the things you need to be doing. And if you are having a hard time doing those yourself, and you don't even know if what you're doing is effective, then I highly suggest you get in Grow Getters so you can get this thing growing, get your audience growing, and all that good stuff, okay? I hope this all makes sense. And for those of you that have been suffering in one of those 4 stages, know that it's okay and it's totally normal and this is what happens. But luckily, there are tools and things to help you. There's processes you can go through so that you're not stalled and stuck. Because after all, it's time you make the income and impact you know that you're capable of making, right? Okay, well, that is it. Y'all are awesome. Have a great day. Until next time, bye now.
Now, this episode may be over, but our relationship does not have to end here. Head on over to KimberlyBrock.com, and yes, you can get more valuable information for your journey. And you know what? You don't need to go through this alone. I would love to help you. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye.